This is a wee story. Think about Scotland is. It's a very cold place. Snow seems to be a big feature there. And it's a wee story about snow's thick in the ground. Hamish ploughs through the snow to his pal's house, knocks the door. His mate said, "Come away then, Hamish, what's the problem?" Hamish said, "It's your son." He said, "Well, what seems to be the problem?" He said, "Your son's gone out with my daughter." He said, "Well, there's nothing wrong with that." He says, "He's been over to my house drunk." He says, "We've all been drunk." He said, "I've just come out," he said, "and his name's written in the snow. It's one of the few wee delights of living in a cold climate. If you come out of the pub and you find yourself alone with a bit of clear snow, you can take your woolley out, if you've got one, and you can write your name on it. You can do the same thing in sand, I'm sure, but the snow is very, very cold, and your wee's not. It cuts through it like a laser. It's a fucking great thing to see. I'm here to tell you, crossing the T's and dotting the I's, there's a wee bit of skill in that. Takes a while, you know. And he said, "Well, what's wrong with that?" He said, "I'll tell you what's wrong with that." He said, "It was in my daughter's handwriting." I was back in Scotland, must have been about 2 years ago. My brother-in-law told me this story. I hope it's true. He lived in East Kilbride, which is just outside Glasgow. And he drank in the pub, East Kilbride Village pub. And there was a wee guy, wee Hector, wee wild man, big thick glasses and a bit of an attitude. And he lived in Straven. And for people in East Kilbride, that was like the end of the world. It was like the back of Buck for Australians. Oh, wow, it's away beyond Straven. End of the world, Straven. I think it's 9 miles away, or 8 miles away. Oh, Straven, oh, you wouldn't go there. If you were going there, you wouldn't start for here. Oh, long way, Straven. An East Kilbride pub was in the Tremlester pubs. I was in there one night and an English guy came in. He said, "Excuse me," he said, "can I have a lager and lime?" The barman said, he said, "We don't do cocktails." So the wee fella from Straven, they had the worst snow they had in years. The place is snowed in. Nobody's seen him for about 3 days. So they tell the publican, he was not been in. So he gets on to the police, and they get on to the Red Cross rescue. And they go to Straven, because they live in a wee farmhouse. They could see the snow, coming out the chimney. But they couldn't get the house, it was all snowed in. So they put the lantern up and got up there and got up the roof, and they shouted down the chimney, Is anybody there?" And the answer came up, "Aye, that's Scottish for yes." "Aye." He said, "Who is it?" He said, "It's the Red Cross." He said, "Fuck off." He said, "I gave last year." There, another wee one to get off. What will I tell you? Glasgow, we're all wee people. We never get faint. The Glasgow Strathclyde Constabulary was made up of big Highland men. Big slow-talking men from the Highlands. Hello, what's going on there? Glasgow people like talking. They come up with a way of talking, talk like a machine gun going off. Then they miss 4 bullets. Because if they're talking, you're not. Fucking right into it. The story's this. It's 2 in the morning, there's a wee drunk Glasgow guy in the gutter. Behind them's a jeweller's shop window. The window's broken, the jewels are gone. The big policeman came along. He said, here, he said, what happened here? What happened here at all? Standard answer in Glasgow. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Big guy said, if you don't tell me what happened, he said, I'll run you in. The wee Glasgow guy said, oh look, he said, I was just sitting here. Then I sees it. This big elephant just come right down the road like that, without a care in the world. Put its arse against the window, broke it. Put its trunk in, took the jewels. Off it went in a northerly direction, just like that. Very quiet. The big Highland policeman, shit. Oh, in a notebook. Oh, this is a big case. You know, jeweller shop elephant. Oh, here, this will make the papers, right? Oh, here, right, oh, here. Now, he said, now, I require a description. He said, now, what sort of an elephant was that? He said, would that be your African elephant, or was it your Indian elephant? The wee Glasgow guy said, oh, I said, I don't know. He said, I was wearing a balaclava. I'll give you one little bit of that. When I was growing up, Highlanders, big guys for the Highlands. Okay, so big Highlanders. There was a big Highlanders would come down to Glasgow to see the bright lights, walking around the town, wee groups of them. They'd ask you questions. Is that a skyscraper? No, that's a mailbox. There's a skyscraper down that hill. Oh, very good. Oh, look at that. A house on wheels. No, that's a double-decker bus. And the wee joke came as it's a lie, wee urban myth. Glasgow's a very sectarian town, and I wasn't quite sure how to work that one out. So the wee thing is, there's a wee Glasgow guy goes for his newspaper in the morning. And the myth about Highlander was they were fascinated with traffic lights, because they don't have them in the Highlands. Oh, look at that, if they change any colour, there it goes. Wee groups of them would be round the traffic lights, fascinated with it. The wee guy goes down and says to the boy, big Highland man said, he said, how do these work at all? He said, it's very simple, lads. He said, when it's green, he said, the Catholics can go. And he said, when it's orange, the Orangemen, the Protestants can go. And he said, when it's red, the communists can go. They were all communists. Oh, very good, he said. Okay, right. Oh, that's simple enough, right? So the wee guy goes for his paper. And as he comes back, the boys are all having a good laugh. They're all rolling laughing. He said, what's the trouble, lads? And the Highland man said, here, he said, they don't give those Protestants much time. No, listen, I think what we'll do is I'll just get off. I'll get off while the going's good. I've got a friend of mine here tonight, Ian Bland, who's one of my favourite. I'm a lucky man. I went through. Tonight's been brilliant. It was my birthday. Then I got really sick and all that shit. And my mates, my mates were like, oh yeah, it's Purdie's birthday. We'll get the band back together. Man, fuck, that's beautiful, isn't it? The band back together. That's what it was tonight. So I've been a lucky man. I went through.